Good evening, everyone. We are going to start within 1 minute, okay? So basically, we have to cover today about the middleware concept and the types of middleware, basically, first of all. Then we will see a few things through Postman. I will let you know that what is Postman and what it provides to us. Okay, that we are going to start within 2 minutes. Okay, so now I am sharing my screen. We are going to start with today's session. Okay, I hope that all of you have already covered all the previous classes in which we have discussed about the middleware part, that what is basically a Express, how it is a framework, what it will do. Okay, and we have already covered our Node.js part. So it is a framework of Node.js. Then we have gone through the concept of basically our middlewares. That middlewares is acting like a bridge in the request and response cycle. Okay, these things we have like seen at our end. So we'll start from there only and we'll continue with the types and we'll see some code part also. So basically just in starting 5 minutes, I am going to report this theoretical portion because it is important for you to understand that what is a middleware. So middleware, key part of Node.js web application, particularly in Express.js, it provides a way to add and use common functionality across your application route and endpoint. Key characteristics of a middleware that it can execute during the request response cycle. As I have already draw the architecture, a rough architecture, so that you can get an idea that between a request and response phase, there are few middlewares also that got executed. And there's those middleware has some property that they can modify your request and response object. They can end the request response cycle if something is not good, can call the next middleware in the stack. Okay, can be application level, router level, or route specific. This is something in which they are telling us the type of middleware, that how many type of middlewares are there. So the type of middleware are, first one is application level, means in the application level you can use it in your whole application. Then there is router level. Router level means at a particular route, it is going to give you the access to have that middleware. And then other one is also a, you can say error handling middleware, which will handles the error and have 4 parameters. I will let you know that okay when it will come. So don't worry about that also. Now let's start from here. It act as a bridge between the raw request and the final indented route handler. Means whatever request you are sending, it act as a bridge between that request and the route handler, which is going to provide us some response. At its core, middleware is a function that has access to the request object, the response object, and at last the next middleware. Okay, so basically, if you are going to see a function, middleware is basically a function with three parameters: a request object, a response object, and third one is next function. Okay, so if you are going to see a function having these three parameters, then let me remind you that it is a middleware. Okay, so middleware function can perform a variety of tasks. So middleware function is going to perform variety of tasks like execute any code, modify request and response object, and the request response cycle, call the next middleware function in the stack. So you have now basic theoretical idea about the middlewares part. So now we are good to see about the types of middleware in detail. Okay, so before that, I am letting you know that how these things execute. So we'll first cover this particular code through which we can get an idea, okay, that how in our request response cycle middleware executes. So just a second. Okay, so const express equals to require express. Now, if we are talking about middleware and they are inside your express module, so to create a middleware or to use that concept, we use express library. Then creating the instance. Through this instance, I can call any middleware. I can call any HTTP method like get, put, post, etc. Right? Then app.use, okay, app.use, and it is taking three parameters from you. Can you see it? That app.use request, response, and next. So that means it is a middleware. Now it is using app.use. So right now it is basically your application level middleware. Means that whenever you are going to use this in throughout program, it will going to execute as soon as you pass a request. Okay. Now console.log middleware one, this always run. Okay, they are saying that this is going to run, a console statement is there, and now it is calling a next function. Now what is this next function? This is basically through which you are calling the next middleware in the line. I have shown you the architecture, right? There I have told you that a request is first sent, then in after that request a middleware get calls, and then through this next function another middleware get called. So now you are at your another middleware. What is it? It is your app.use request response next. Means this is also another middleware which is consoling you that middleware 2, this is always going to run. Okay, that we are getting it also, that it is also going to execute. Then this is the route handler through which you will get a particular output. Okay, so what should happen, that as soon as user go to this slash route, you will get the response as hello world. Okay, but before getting this response you will get these two middleware executed. So first of all, request has been sent as soon as you have executed this code. After that, what happened? Both the two middleware will pass this request and then you will finally get the response. And at last, you are listening it at a port 8080. So let's try to execute this. Then you will come to know that how these things are working and where you are getting the output. Okay, so for that, I have to move to my VS Code first. So let me open that. Here is VS Code. We will move to index.js file only and we will paste our code over there. Now to execute it, what I have to do, first of all, I have to move to change directory cd space Node.js. Now I am inside Node.js, right? What can I do now? I have to just use the command. Okay, node space index.js. Just a second. If I want to use a command, it will be like node space index.js. Okay. Server is running at a port 8080. Now you can see there is no console right now. Okay. But just as soon as I'm going to open it, a request means localhost colon 8080. Okay, it is 3000. So wait, I have to change it to 8080 because our application is listening to that port, not winter.html, just 8080. So are you able to see hello world is coming over here? Okay, sorry. Now what is the difference? The difference is you can see something is coming over here also. What is this? That we have to discuss. As soon as I have logged this, as soon as I have refreshed it, or you can say got this result. So before that, these things has already been executed. And what are these things? Middleware one, this always run. This is your first middleware. Middleware 2, this always run. Okay, this is quite understandable, but they have been executed multiple times. Why? Because I have refreshed it multiple time also. And this is something that every time, before, this is the code you have written, right? But also by default, they will handle some routes. Like here you are getting the output at slash particular route, right? So in case if there will be any other route in the application also, so for that also middleware executes. So the code is not visible here, but they are hitting some endpoint also, and that's why you are getting the output. It is not visible to us, but it is hitting some another endpoint, like a call type or icon type by default, and that's why the middleware is running. So what is happening? As soon as your request is sent, before getting the response, this middleware is going to execute in order, and when the middleware will be executed, then you will get the response. Okay, this is happening right now. So you have only executed this part, that you want some data from slash, but you are getting this also, and you can see these two are also executed then as soon as you are expecting for any output. Why these are executed? Because that's how the structure is. Request sent, middleware 1 execute, middleware 2 execute, and then route handler provides the response. And route handler is providing us the response as hello world. Okay, this is the concept of middleware. Now you can see when a request is made to the root path, the following thing happens. Means when you have requested something on this particular port, middleware 1 first of all get logged, middleware 2 then called, and then the route handler post the responds the hello world. Okay, this is how these things happen. Now there are some type of middleware. Well, before that, let's understand this. Choosing the right type. The type of middleware you use depends on your specific need, such as whether the middleware should run for all requests or specific requests. If you have to run a middleware for all requests, then you have to make it application level. Means inside your application, you can execute it. If you want it to be a route specific, means as I want that my middleware will only execute when user hit the route slash about, then only this middleware should run. So for that, I have to use router.use middleware. Okay, I will let you know when we discuss about type. So let's understand first one, the application level middleware. Name is suggesting that this middleware will be executed like for every request inside the application. Means in the whole application, if you are doing any request, then this type of middleware is going to execute at that time again and again. First one is application level. So let's try to understand it also. Just a second. Okay. Application level middleware is bound to the Express application instance using app.use or app.method. Means if you are going to use something like app.use or app.method, method can be replaced by get, post, put, and delete. Then that means you are using application level middleware. No problem. Use case, logging, authentication, request parsing, and anything else. Best practice, define application level middleware before defining routes to ensure that it runs in correct order. Okay, let's try to understand what they are saying. So they are saying that if you want to make a middleware application level, then you have to use the syntax like app.use or app.method. What is the basic need for doing this? So that for each and every request there in your code, you have to execute this middleware, this application level middleware. Okay, no problem. What this code will do, let's try to see it. Const express require express, you have imported it, you have created the instance of your express app with the app name. Okay, then you are using a middleware. How I come to know that it is a middleware? It is using request res and next parameter, and it is also calling the next thing over there. And one more thing, like suppose if there is a request panel, then there is two middlewares in between, and then the response phase is there. So one will call the next middleware through this next function, right? Two will call the response route handler through next. So don't be confused over there. Okay. So whenever there will be a middleware, it is going to call the next middleware. And if the middleware is not there after that, then it will call the response part. Okay. Now what it will do, it will console the time at our end. So as soon as user is going to hit a particular slash route, it will console you the date. Okay, then router level. Here we have used app.use. So that means that for any type of query over there, any type of route over there, this will going to execute each and every time. Now, another one is router level middleware. Now, let's try to understand router level middleware. The name is suggesting first one is application level, means in the whole application that middleware will work. But now it is router level. Router level means router level middleware works similarly to application level middleware, but is bound to an instance of express.router. Means basically it is like not applicable for throughout the application. It is basically used for a specific command, specific routes, okay, or group of route. Better code organization, modular writing, routing, and middleware to specific route groups. Means the specific route groups can access this type of middleware. So let's try to understand this code. Then I will tell you that what they are saying. Okay. Router.use. Through this, they have created a middleware request router. Now, instead of express only, they are calling a function express.router, so that they want to make a instance of express, and that also so that it can use a router level middleware. So for that, there is a change in the syntax. You can see there is no express now, there is express.router now. And when you are calling it, you are using router.use, request, response, and next middleware parameters are there. Console.log, router specific middleware. When will it going to execute? When a user will hit this particular endpoint. I will tell you that how it is happening. Router.get means you want to get the data user ID, then colon ID means I have to share the ID in the user requested URL, then I will get the response as user profile. And how to add a router, where I want my output. I want when a user will hit this slash API, then this middleware should work only, not for each and every program. So this is not a complete code. We are not going to see about it just now. We are taking an idea that how many types of middleware are there. Then there is a single long example through which everything will be clear to you. Okay. Now there is error handling middleware. Error handling middleware. So three types of middleware, like two types we are already covered, application level, and other was your router level. Then other one is error handling middleware. Error handling middleware is defined with 4 arguments. So how many arguments are there in normal middleware? So 3 arguments: request, response, and then third one is next. But here are 4 arguments. How many? Four. Which one? Error, request, response, and next. So error is added over here at the first place. It used to handle error that occur during request processing. You all are aware that why we need error handling, so that user will get a particular response that this thing is correct, or it will make your website good and user friendly also, that they will come to know that okay, they are facing this particular problem. Okay, as a user I have entered this thing wrong. Okay, that the password we are using, it will take special character also. So these things we can set up through a middleware, and that is basically why we create error handling middleware. In case there will be an error, that will resolve that or give you idea about it. Can be used to centralize error handling logic, can forward errors to the next error handling using next ERR. Suppose if there is a error which you want to handle, which you don't want to handle, then you can pass that error also. How to pass it? Using next and inside parameter you have to pass error. Okay, this is something the syntax look like app.use and this much stuff. Now we are going to talk about this building middleware part over there, but before that, just go through that whatever we have covered up to now, then we will start. Okay. Now built-in middleware. Express includes several built-in middleware function that handle common application tasks. So there are also some built-in middlewares like Express.json. What this Express.json do? Parse JSON request bodies. Means whatever, like I will let you know about this when we will move to a postman part. So what is this? Basically, you are going to pass a content, okay, from the front end side through Postman. A tool is there through which you are going to pass some arguments to add that to the backend part. So that is basically send it in JSON format. So to pass that JSON format, JavaScript object notation part, we use this express.json. That is only what it can be useful for backend so that it will get the output that what we are sharing with them. Then express.url encoded, parse URL encoded request bodies, static file and express.router, you are already seen it, creates modular route handlers. Okay, no problem. Then there are some third-party middleware also. You have seen built-in middleware. Now there is some third-party middleware. Third-party middleware means they have been created for some external uses. So you have to install them to before using because they are not inbuilt. So out of this course is important. Course stands for cross origin resource sharing. Means if when we are going to see about front end and back end integration, at that time your front end basically hosted on different server, local host like localhost 8080, different port number, and back end is running on localhost colon 5173 suppose. So whatever you request from front end to back end, that is basically not handled properly because of security issue, because your system thinks that it is coming from outside. So to make that in that cross origin resource sharing, we use this quads middleware so that it tells that okay, the upcoming requests are safe, you have to provide the data accordingly. Okay, so to make sure the security doesn't breach and to give it a more familiarity that the coming requests are from our server only, we use CORS, cross origin resource sharing part. Clear? I hope it is clear to you. Okay. Now you can see they are showing you the commands that how to you can install the third party applications or middlewares. So if you have to install Helmet, you can do Helmet, Space Morgan, Course, which whatever you want to install, just add that over here. Okay. And Space Separator you can use for install. Now this is how you can import it and then you can use it like this. No problem. Now let's try to understand this bit of code, so that you will get an idea that how this authentication middleware works. Okay, function authenticate. Okay, there is a function named authenticate. Now it has three parameters: request, response, next. So you will come to know that it is a middleware function. Okay, perfect. Now what it is asking, that const auth header, that inside this authentication header I want something. What is the thing? Request.headers.authorization means it wants that from your requested URL there is some header section in Postman, and from there the authorization value that will be stored in this auth header. No problem. We'll let you know that how we can send it. Now if not auth header means if there is no value, then you have to provide them the status that authentication is required to access it. Okay, this is clear that if the value is not there, just let them know that authentication is required. Okay, now token, how to generate the token from it? Auth header dot split at space and at first index, whatever is there, that is the token. Okay, so let's try to understand this line, that what it is saying. That first of all, go to auth header. I have passed something in authorization header, right? In that, I want that string should be split at each space. Okay, then convert that to array. This split basically takes an argument. It will convert that particular string to list of an array. Okay, and it will divide it at each space. And from that, I want the first index element. Suppose my string is this is a cat. Okay, for example, if you want to see an example, suppose a string is this is a cat. If I apply a split operator, a split function on that string, then what that will do, I am telling you the output then. First of all, I want it to be there at space. So this space is space a space cat. This is something I have as a string. Now at each space, it will break it, okay, or split it and make each and every string part as the element of array. Means now it will return me a array with elements like this, comma, is, comma, a, comma, cat. So now there are 4 elements in my array, and how it has broke it? It has broke it at each space. Clear? And after that, if you are going to write some index, then that means that you want that index value only. So at first index, we have is. So is will be stored to token. If the string is this is a cat. If the string is any other, in our case, it is auth header. Whatever we are passing in auth header, that we have to see. We will come to see in postman. So don't worry. Now the postman thing will start. Token equals triple equivalent means the data type will be same. The string part must be same. Then only you can match this condition. If the token which you are passing here is equals to your secret token, means this string, then you will get the access to this part. What it is? Request.user equals to ID 123 and username John. Else you will get invalid token. Now what is this? App.get. If you are going to see slash API slash protected and then call authenticated middleware, authenticate middleware. This is how you pass your middleware. The route level, then the middleware, and then the callback function. Okay, so this is your middleware, which will listen at a particular route. So it is router level middleware. Okay, what is it? It is a router level middleware. So I have to complete this code first. Like I have to, first of all, make sure that all the files has been imported properly, and then I can get the response that message protected data and user data as request.user. What is request.user? This is required your user. So let's try to understand it through VS Code. Okay, then it will be more clear that what I am saying. No worries, you will come to know about middleware concept. You will come to know about middleware when we execute this problem. Okay, so let me clear the terminal first. Let me write the code now here. Okay, just a second. Okay, this is the code. Middleware we are using here. Everything is performed here. But as we are using like multiple things over there, so I have to make some changes to the code. And then I will let you know what is Postman, how to install it at your end, and how it is going to used over here so that we can get the output. Okay, so don't worry, just in 2 seconds, 2 minutes, we are going to start with that. In 2 minutes, we are going to start. Up to then, what you have to do, you have to revise that whatever we have covered. Then only I can tell you that how it is working. Okay, so I hope you have seen that what we were doing. Now see, right now what we are doing, we are creating a middleware. What is the middleware? Authentication middleware, through which what should happen that if that thing will match, if I am passing something, suppose, and that will match with the thing, this I am giving over here, then only I have to let them know that you are authenticated user, and then you can access the credentials accordingly. So before that, we have learning express. So creating our express library and using middleware concept. So what are the things I have to do? I have to first of all import Express library, right? And how to import it? Now you have all the idea about it. Const Express equals to require Express. So if there is not a complete code, then you have to make sure that you can make some changes. So that's why concepts are important, because if you know the concept, then you can write it also. Okay, this is done. Then what I have to do? I have to create a instance of it. How to create the instance? Const app equals to Express. To this, I have created the instance for it, right? Now, what I have to do? I have to make sure that this thing should listen at a particular route, port number, right? So for that, what I have to do? For that, I have to use app.listen, and then I have to give a port number that I want to listen at 9899, and then we can give an like arrow function through which we will mention that okay, it is running on this particular port, right? So it will be like console.log server running at 9999. No problem. This is what we are getting. What I have changes I have done, so that if you are using a middleware concept, if you are using different application, if you are using route handlers, then you have to make sure that Express must be included. So I have imported it at the top, then created a app instance, because from this only you are getting calling a route handler. You can see app.get. So that I have to define. So that's why I have defined it over here, that it is an instance of our application. Now through app.listen, what I am doing that at this particular port, I want my output. Okay. Now let's try to understand the flow one more time. Then I will tell you about Postman. Okay. Sir, you are saying something that this is a middleware. What it will do? It will take some auth header value. I don't know from where it will take it, but right now it will take value from here. Okay, no problem. And what is it? It is the request dot headers. Mean in the requested body, in header part, there is some this authorization token that I have to pass. Okay. If you have shared this token, then I can access other things. Otherwise, it will return me that authentication is required first. No problem. If token is generated, how we can generate the token? That I will also tell you. Okay, if token is generated, then what I have to do? I have to pass this request.users value like ID 123 and username John. Okay, and where I should get this data as a user when we will handle this particular route, which is /API/protected. Then the authenticate middleware, it is going to call request.response. So right now, if I try to execute this, so if what I'm saying that if I just start it, okay, I have started it. I have to move to our this thing. I have to change the port number to 9899, right? Then there is API and then there is protected. This is the path. I want that at this particular path, my output should be visible. And what should be the output? That message is protected data and user as request.user. And what is request.user? Request.user is here. ID 123 and name JSON. And when I will get the value of it, if the token value is same to cigarette token, right? So if I execute it now, so can you see authentication required is coming. So authentication requires it coming means we have to make it authenticate. And how I am going to make it authenticate? By passing some value of token. So to pass that token from front end part, we need the tool Postman. Okay, so now the introduction with your Postman thing will start. So Postman, basically you can download in VS Code also. And how to download it? Just move to the extension part over here. Go to extension. Right here, Postman. Okay, you can write it like this. Open it. I have already installed it, so you have to install it. And when that will be installed, it will come in the left sidebar like this. So this is basically the simple for your Postman. You can hover over it. It is showing you the Postman thing, right? Okay. So here is the Postman. I am opening it as I have already. Okay, I have to sign in over here. Continue. Okay, I have to log in. So you have to also do this same steps. You have to make your account on Postman, sign into Postman, okay? And then you can see the access. So I am signing it with Google only. Continuing with my ID. Okay, now opening my VS Code. So signing part is done. Now let's see what we have to do. You will get something like this, interface like this at your end. Okay, if I make it broad, oh, just a second, then I can do this. Okay, here, see what you are getting here. Let's try to close all the extra files and then I will tell you that how it is looking. Just a second, I am closing the extra tabs over here. Okay, it is done. Now you can see here I am getting my workspace. No problem with that. New request. Just click on this new HTTP request. Okay. And now I'm making it narrow. Okay. As soon as you have new HTTP request, you can see our interface will this open at your end. Now let's try to understand about the interface first. Then we will see that what we can done through it. This is Postman. From here, where you are getting this get, this is the HTTP methods. So that through Express or through Postman, you can access these methods. Now, what does it mean by get? Get basically represent that you have to see the data which is there in your server right now. Okay, so for that you want some data, get is there. Post means you want to add some data. Put means you want to update the added data, and delete means deleting that data. Out of them, these four are important. So right now we have to select for get. Why get? Because you can see here, if I move to VS Code index.js, you can see I am using here app.get. So if I am using get, then I have to use this method as get also. No problem. Now, I have to enter the URL that at which particular URL I should get my output. So what is our URL? Our URL at which we are listening for get is, you can go here, you can check /API/protected. This is the URL, right? And if I move over here, this is the full URL for it. Localhost 9899 API protected and this something like this. So I will move over here. I will write it from that only, which is just a second, http colon localhost, what is the port number, 9899. After that, what is the path, /API/protected. Okay, now this is our you can see get route, right? If I move here, okay, I have to go to VS Code. You can see there are one route which is app.get. Okay, through which I can get the data. And if that data will match, then only I will get the user as authenticated. So how to send it first, we are going to look on that matter. Just give me a second and then I will tell you that how we are going to use it. Okay. So we are our postman. This is our postman. Here we are going to use HTTP localhost 9899 API protected. If I use this send button, you will see that I am getting request that authentication is required. Means if when I do the authentication part, then I should get the output as username and other things. So from where to add the output, that we are going to see. Just move to this header section. In header section, you have to add some key and value. So what will be the key? The key will be just a second. The key will be request.header, mean in the request parameter from front end, go to the header section. So that's why I'm coming inside this header section, and there the key is authorization. So I am just copying it, authorization. No problem. Copied the authorization. And what should be the value for it? The value for it should be secret token. I have to use secret token. I will tell you how it is working. Just a second. Just a second. We have to use bearer. Same thing which was written inside our if statement. Like this. This is your secret token. Okay. This should match. Then only it will give us an output. No problem. We will just move to our localhost colon this and secret token. Okay. Now this value is added. Again, if I send it, and now you are getting the response. Now I will tell you that you are getting some response like this, right? So if I make it to JSON format or pretty print it, raw pretty print, no problem. It is coming something like this, but still we are getting the output. So I am telling you first that what I have done, and then it will be clear to you that how it is working. Don't worry if you haven't understand it. I am telling it now. See, from request.header, this postman is a first of all client side tool. Client side tool means your front end tool. In front end, if you want to fetch use some data, you want to enter some data so that it can first of all check in the back end. Like suppose you have seen the login page, right? In login page, first of all you have to enter your credentials, right? So that credential is added from front end, and then it is mashed in backend, and then you will get the output from backend, right? So basically to send some stuff from your front end part, we use some tools, and the tools are Postman. Okay, so there are multiple tools like Thunderbolt. Okay, there is also Hopscotch, but we are going to use Postman over here. All the other things are also same. This Thunder client is also the same. I will also try to execute one from this side so that in case you will have an doubt over there, you can also come to know that. Now, see, we are going through code by code. That what code is asking, we are doing that only. So our code is saying that I have to use this authentication middleware. This is something. So what I have done, as soon as my user is going to this particular route, I want my authentication middleware to be called. Now my authentication middleware is getting called. Here is my authentication middleware. Now, the main purpose of this authentication middleware is if the user has shared a secret token, then only you can give them the access. Otherwise, you have to reject them. This is the motto. So at the first take, what I have done, I have not shared any token with the user. So it was saying us to that the output is there, that authentication is required. So if we move to over here, you can see right now it is showing me authentication required. But if I refresh it now, okay, authentication is required. Now what I have done, that I have passed the auth header. From where I have passed it, in request section dot headers, I have passed this key. In header section, I have passed this key. So you can see here, if we move to Postman, how I have shared it. Just me giving it. Okay. So you can see I have moved to Postman. This is my get method. Here is my perfect URL. So whatever I was doing through browser, I can do it from here only. I have to go to header part. There are multiple things over here. I move to headers things. I add a key with the name authorization as that was fixed over there. Then I have used something like bearer secret token. So you can understand that, okay, so secret token, we can understand that it is mentioned there. For authentication, if that token value will match with this secret token, then only we can be a authenticated user. But why you have used this bearer? This was the case. Okay. So let me tell you that this secret token is just like a ticket. You all have traveled with your train or aeroplane or any other traveling agencies. Okay. So they provide you a ticket. Ticket is something which is known as the secret token. What is bearer? The person who is holding that ticket. See, ticket has the power to make you travel, right? But if you don't have the ticket, they will not allow you. And also, if there is no person, then there is no meaning of a ticket. Okay, so understand it like that this is your ticket and this is you as a person. So if both of you are present, then only you can have the benefit of the ticket and you can travel accordingly, right? But now you can understand that that's why I have used a keyword bearer over here, which means that it represents your particular ticket, your particular token. Now, I only want in my if statement that this thing will come. So to make this bearer remove from that perspective, what we have done, we have write the code for it. Now it will be understandable for you. Now see, at last what we are doing, now inside my auth header, the value is bearer space secret token. Two things are there. Now what should happen? You want that token. What is the token value? It is secret token according to us. So how my computer will come to know that bearer is not the value? So for that I have written this particular logic. What is the logic? Go to auth header. Now auth header has the value bearer space secret token. Split it on space and give me the value at first index. This is what I have told you. Now if I move over here, you can see now the string in authorization is bearer secret token. It will split it on space. So the zeroth element is bearer and first element is secret token from the code. Okay, it is splitting it at a space. And now you can see I want a first index value. So what is the value at first index? So the first index value will be secret token. So now inside your token, what is the value? The value is secret token. So now the condition will match that secret token is equivalent to secret token. Now you can have the access to this user part, which is ID 123 and username John. And that's why you are getting the response as this, that message protected data and user is request.user. So if I console it, if I run it again, I go to HTTP, I send it again, and if we refresh it, okay, slash protected route here, wait, and slash API protected, API protected. So it is right now the saves are not basically in our backend, so that why it is not able to understand that and show it over there. But here you can get the idea that you are getting message as protected data and user value as this. So whatever you want to check, that's why we need backend. So Postman, so that if you are developing an application, so to check all the backend part is running perfectly or not, you can match it from here. So as soon as you try to develop something at your end, you will come to know that how these things are working. Clear? So this is one way through which we have seen understand about two things. First of all, how to use Postman and how the middleware things work. Clear with that? Now there is something called this. Okay, also one thing, I think if I want to see the output over there. I can add something like, just give me a second. Let me try that how to console that on browser, because there is express.json, right? We have discussed about express.json. I have tell you that it will parse the data from body. So right now the body data is in JSON format and I want that to be printed. So for that I am going to make some changes. It will be like here only app.use. I will first try it express.json and just a second. If now I will start the server again, go to my body, send the request, and we'll move to here and refresh it. Okay, wait, let me again start it. Localhost colon 9899, right? Slash API slash protected. Enter. Authentication is required. So to make the authentication, we are going to send it. Okay, it is sent it just now. You can see status is 200. Okay, means they have sent it. But is it through get method only we can output it to the web browser? Okay, we are not getting it right now. We will write the code for it also. Then you will get the response accordingly. Okay, clear? Now let's make some changes in the code so that you can get the idea that how it is working. Okay, now another code over here. This one we have seen like authentication middleware. Now request validation middleware. Let's try to understand this. This is also a good one so that you can get an idea. Function validate user creation means you are doing something like validating a user. Okay. Now it is a middleware. What it is asking from you, that request.body. From the body, I want a username, I want email, and I want password. So that means you have to share these three things in the body section. So as I have already told you that Postman work as a client part also. So we will move to our Postman. We will see that how we can pass it. Okay, then you will come to know that okay, how the things are working through Postman, why we need it. Okay, just right now you have to make sure that in the body you have to pass these three things: a username, an email ID, and a password. Now they have some validation criteria that if the username, if not the username, if the username is not present and the username dot length is less than 3, then you have to provide the output as username must be at least 3 characters. Okay, why is this condition? Because suppose as in my body I am sharing a name, suppose AB, then it will make it wrong that there must be at least 3 character ABC. Okay, and other thing is that if you haven't passed the username, that how it is a valid user, so in that case you will get the output accordingly. Also, if the mail is not there and the mail is not including any at the rate, then you have to pass valid email, invalid email. Okay, or valid email is required, that you have entered invalid email and valid email is required, both are same thing. Then if password is not there and also password is less than 6 character, then you have to enter it accordingly. Now what I am doing, I am using app.post. Now we are going to see app.post. So if I have to send something from client side, okay, so that I can get the response accordingly, then that can be only done through this post method. Okay, where I have to post that slash API slash user. Then this middleware will get called. Through this middleware, what I am doing, I am checking all the things that okay, I want to make a user, but my middleware work is that they are going to check different things, that email is correct, the username is correct, or the password is correct. Then only you will get the response. Okay, so that's why this middleware is used. And when that will be done, you will get the output. So let's try to execute it. Now there is post method. Okay, through get method, you will getting some information. Through post method, you are going to add something from client side. Okay, so I am going to change this particular portion over here. So to yeah, like this particular portion I will change, and here is this. One more thing, let close it, let use a clear command, and then I will execute it. Okay. Now see what is happening. There I have used app.use express.json. Why I have used it? Because in body I am going to write something. Okay. And I have written it, but my browser have to understand it, and then accordingly it should parse it, okay, and compare it with the other datas. So to make sure that it will be converted to the JSON string format, we have to parse it accordingly, and that's why I have used the middleware over here, express.json. It is a third party middleware, right? Not third party. We have already covered it, that it is also our one type of middleware over here. You can see built-in middleware express.json parse JSON request bodies, that whatever you have passed in the requested body, that it should pass. Okay, let's move to the new HTTP request. It is loading. Now we have to, what we have to do from code, just understand that you have to post something. So the method will be post. From here, change the method to post. Now, whenever you are posting, you have to make sure that you have to post it in JSON format. Okay, just move it to the body part. From here, select the raw data, and then you are good to go. This is your raw data, okay? And here you have to write the JSON format thing. Now, what does it mean? That they are expecting you to enter some email, some username things, right? They are expecting you that you are going to enter these three things in body section. So that's why I have selected the body section in our postman. So you can see I have selected body section in postman, in post method, in body section. I want to send some raw data. At which particular URL? At http localhost 9899 slash API slash users. Slash user or user, that we will check. Here slash API slash user. What is the port number? The port number is same 9899. Okay, no problem. We will move over here. You have to provide slash users. Okay. Now what is the data you have to pass? You have to pass the data in JSON format. This is how a JSON format would look like. First of all, a username in double quotes, colon, the value of username in double quotes. This is one thing. Then a comma to separate other field. Then what you have to pass? I have tell you that after that there will be an email. Okay, I have passed the email. Email should be like abc@123 gmail.com, something like this. I have passed this email also. Then what I have to pass? After this, I have to pass them the password. And password, I can something like, it can be something like abc@123, something like that. Okay. As soon as entered this send, okay, it is showing error connection. Why? Because we haven't started our code yet. So for that, I have to press enter. It is now running. Now I can go to my postman. Now I can send it. Okay. It is showing me some error. Let's try to understand that. Requested body. It is undefined VR. Okay. Cannot destructure property. Okay, it has not passed it. Wait, let me just check it, that what I have. Okay, let's try to understand the code first, then we will try to execute it. Express.json is used so that we can parse it accordingly. Then this is the middleware. Okay. So I have to move to slash API slash user. If I move over here, slash API slash users. Okay, cannot get this, no problem. After that, this validate creation will get called. And when we will call it, what should happen? That from request.body, it should get username, it should get email ID, and it should get a password. Okay. Then it is going to check what? It is going to check if username is not there or username is less than 3. Then you have to enter the username again with the valid criteria. Same thing for email and same thing for password. And at last, you will get the output. No problem. This is the same thing we are going to do. Uh, that is something which we have also done. Okay, no problem. Let's go to the HTTP part again. There is some internal server error. Okay, not another thing. HTTP colon localhost 9899 slash API slash user. The post route is selected. We already have moved to our body section. From here, you can see we are inside body, and there is my raw data. We have selected it also. This is the raw data. And in the raw data, I have to pass the JSON type thing. This is my JSON type thing, right? That is username is there. So I'm just changing some content. Vansh ABCC ABCCC. And now if I send it as it is undefined, it is not able to parse my request.body. Okay. Why it is unable to parse it? I have to check it. Just a second. We are going to restart it. We are going to restart our code also. Saving the file. App is listening. Post is working fine. No problem. Let's try to like execute it again. This thing I have executed. Here I have to make the post command right at a particular URL, which is localhost API users. No problem. I have to move to the body part. In body, I have to go to raw, and here I have to add JSON data. JSON data is added something like this. I have to pass the username, and it should be like something like this. Then username, then there is email, abc123@gmail.com. Okay, this I have also added. And at last there was password. Okay, the password also must be in this. Right. We have entered the password, and now the password value will be 123 ABC, whatever I want. Okay, this thing is there. Sending it. Okay, there is basically some internal server error. Okay, no problem. So right now it is not working at my end. Just try the same steps at your end also, and I hope that you are able to execute it. I will try it through Thunderbolt also. Just a second. As I have told you that there is also a Thunder client. Okay, new request. I'm trying it with Thunder client. So that is also like alternate of your Postman. You have to select the method from here. The post is the method. You have to move to the body part. In mod body, you can see JSON format we are already using. So I will copy here the JSON part which I have entered over here, and here it is. Now if I send it, okay, here it is working. So right now my Postman server are not working correctly. But see, that's what I was saying, that if there will be like at your end, most probably that will be executed by Postman only. But suppose if not, then there is a like you have installed Postman at your end. Same thing, you can go to extension part. You can download Thunder client. The name is Thunder client. It is same type of, you can say, software which is built so that you can use it like Postman. Okay, whatever you are doing through Postman, you can do it from this platform also. The name is Thunder Client. What I have done over here, I have selected the post command. I have entered the particular API or route. Okay. And then in JSON format, I have passed the same thing. And now you can see the response that user created successfully. Okay. So this is what we were doing at our end. And you can see we are getting the output for it over here only in Postman. Now you can ask that why we are not getting the output in browser, because for getting the output in browser, there must be a get method. Okay. So through get method, we can only get the information. But if you are adding something, which we are doing here, we are adding something and getting a message like user created successfully. So that we are doing through post, and post is basically related to our body part. So here you can see the message that user created successfully. Now your user is created and it is having the name username as this, email as this, and password as this. So if I move to the code part for elaboration, or before moving to the code part, if I suppose entered a name AV, now it is not good because in my condition what I have written that the name must be at least 3 characters. So if I send it now, you can see it is throwing me an error that username must be at least 3 characters. So this is how our middleware work. This is how it checks some conditions. Same thing. If I remove this at the rate and again send it, so you can see, okay, let me change it, the username. If I send it again, you can see valid email is required. From where it is coming? It is coming from your middleware part only, that they have checked your email which you have passed through the body, that if that containing at the rate, then only it is valid, otherwise it is invalid. Okay. And this code you have generated in JSON format. Okay, you have written it, and so that they can parse it, you are using this method express.json, so that they can parse your JSON data and compare it accordingly. So this is how you can use your middlewares. Okay, so we have covered the middlewares part. This is how this middleware parts will work. And in tomorrow's session, basically, I will tell you a single program through which we are going to see put like your get method, post method, put method, and delete method. That whole we are going to cover tomorrow. And just wrap this express part. Okay, so this is what you have to make sure you know, come to know when you are reading express, that how to use postman, what are the http methods like put, post, put, get, and your delete method, right? How to use middleware, that is important. We have to seen two middlewares today. First one is your authentication middleware, and second one is validate user middleware. So I hope that it is clear to all of you. And in case if there will be any doubt, then you can pause the video at your end. You can execute the same steps as I have done, and it will be easy for you to understand it then. Okay, clear? So thank you so much. We'll cover the express part tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. Happy learning.